Welcome to the video, guys. We're going to be looking at the LHM TV on Outpost, and here's my setup. I have it paused for you guys. I know the camera blocks it a little bit, but CVS in the scouting slot, optics, and bounty low noise exhaust. So let's get into this one. And again, we're going to be on Outpost. This is a tier 7-8 game, and I've gotten Outpost a number of times recently, right? When I have my days off, I like to play a lot of my World of Tanks now, so I'll play some 80 or 90 battles within a couple of days, right? And then of those battles, I'll, do some sessions, but try and pick the best videos that I think are going to help you guys out, regardless of whether I do well or not in them. But I want to bring you guys content that I think is going to help you out, right? So recently I started making a different play on Outpost, and it's not this one. What I like to do is later on in the game actually advance out to these buildings here, and along the side of this building, at least going from west to east, this doesn't really work east to west, but if you're going west to east, you can actually come through here like this and then sit right on this corner, and on this corner there's a bush line. So it's helpful for maybe countering the enemy light tank that'll sit here, and it also gives you a different angle on this hill. So we took a shot at like the Hawk 12 or whatever he got lit, and that's all you guys are really missing. Actually, it was the TVP that I spotted. We got some spotting damage. We spotted like the Leo as well, and the Hawk 12 appeared. So that's all we have so far. The Hawk 12 is likely sitting right here. This is your best spot really to sit on this eastern side if you're coming from the northeast spawn. I would always recommend sitting here. Gosh, I had a burp. And from the southwest spawn, I would always recommend coming here. So these are your two spots that are going to be the best zones for you to passive scout, these two areas right here. What a lot of people like to do in like even 90s, they like to try and get fancy, and they're like, oh, I'll come to this bush, I'll come to this bush. Like, don't do that, man. You're just risking getting spotted for pretty much nothing, right? Like, you're only getting a little bit closer. It's really not going to make that much of a difference if you're running CVS to get into this bush line or this bush line. Like, just grab this one, man. Like, you're fine, and you have the hard cover. I'm telling you, like, don't try and get that risky, dude, unless you're that confident that you're not going to get lit or something. But I don't find it to be worth it. So T25AT is pushing down the eastern portion of this map here. T71 Daz doing pretty well. He's trying to light the guys from this area, and you can do this as well, right? This is a very, very good play. I like coming to here. The only problem is you have to be careful that you don't get YOLO'd by mediums, right? Because if all your guys are going to sit in the back here, yeah, you got to be careful, man. So again, guys, going back to what I was saying about getting this map, I had the weirdest couple of sessions, I guess you will call it, on Tuesday and Wednesday, my days off. And the first day, it was a couple of times we got Outpost. It was a lot of airfield. I got Live Oaks a few times. I got Abbey a few times. I got Tundra multiple times. I just was getting all these maps, like Pearl River I got a couple of times. There were so many maps, guys, that I got. And I actually spot the SP1C here, and see how he's sitting in this bush. This is your example of why this isn't worth it, guys, because look, he's a goner, right? He's dead. If he's actually able to get away. No, I didn't think so. I'm pretty sure someone was able to clean him up there. Weirdest session I've ever had, guys, because the first day we had nothing but garbage maps, and I never saw Prokhorovka. 45 battles, I saw Malinovka once. I never saw Westfield. I never saw Murovanka. I never saw Prokhorovka. And Pilsen, we also had Pilsen probably like 3 or 4 times. Airfield 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, what is going on here, man? This is just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And then somehow the next day I got Prokhorovka like 4 times. 4 times, man. And I've been trying to mark the LHM TV. I'm getting there, man. I'm really close. But I just couldn't get any good maps, guys. Like, every single game I was getting with the LHM TV, and by the way, we got Malinovka with the LT432 when I wasn't playing the LHM TV, so it didn't even matter, right? I'm trying to get good maps with the LHM TV, and we just weren't getting them, and then all of a sudden the next day, it's like, boom, we got Westfield twice, we got Prokhorovka like 4 times, I think I got Malinovka twice as well, and I got Murovanka once, and I'm like, this is the weirdest thing, man. It's like one day you have garbage maps, and the next you have perfect maps. And it's just, I don't know, man. I swear when people say there's like a rotation of like 6 or 7 maps, I swear that's the truth, man. I really, really do. Because I will play 50 battles in one day and never see a map. And then the next day I will see it 4 times. And it's like, how is this random? It's just, this doesn't feel random to me at all. But it could be that it's just random, guys, and I'm just unlucky one day and lucky the next. I don't know, man. But anyway, this is the play I like to make to advance here, guys. And you can see that when you sit in this bush line, obviously you're not going to get lit. So it kind of gives you an advantage to kind of outspot someone in this area. However, if they do run CVS, you might get lit poking here, right? Like, I've tried to counter an even 90 that was sitting here, and I was getting outspotted because even 90 with CVS, like, there's no way you're ever going to outspot them. I think I was in the LT432, and I run modified configuration instead of low noise exhaust, so that's probably why. But yeah, man, like, you're not going to get it every time, but it is helpful to know that there's a spot to at least try and counter it, right? And this Hog 12 is just making the weirdest play, man. He's trying to poke on me. I don't know what this guy's thinking, man. Like, look at the team, man. Look at my team. Like, it's 8-2. Like, this guy wants to stay here. If I were this guy, I would have already ran away a long time ago, but this is what he's, I guess, trying to do, and trying to poke on me. Like, I just really don't think it's a smart move, man. It's a good idea, because you're going to end up getting, you know, absolutely wrecked by everyone else that's pushing in. But again, man, some people would rather just stay and fight it out, and I can kind of understand that. I mean, this guy's whole team is gone, but if I were him, I would have ran a long time ago back to this area to try and poke the ridge and get shots on people that are coming in, right? So I'm going to push up here. And eventually, what I like to do now is, instead of running down this way, because see how there's an IS-3 and an IS-2 over here? I just take this dip, and I like to do this from time to time. Su-130 actually misses me. Even if he hit me, we would have been okay, and now we're lighting the sky, and you kind of get the jump on these guys by coming through this way instead, right? So I come through this way, I'm just going to run into these guys. I'm going to come after the Pantera here, slide behind him like this, turn around, going to hit him before he can turn his gun, and then I'm going to come around like this, and then I want to say the Tiger 1 appears like right by this building. Right here, he's sitting right here, so I hit him as well. And now we're just going to be playing, you know, peekaboom with these guys. Really, that's it. Just waiting for the rest of my team to push in, right? Pantera's getting hit here. I'm getting the spotting damage for it. I'm going to come around the corner here, hit him again, and yeah, everyone's just kind of funneling in, and we're going to end up cleaning this guy up. So at this point, I'm going to run through like this. Going to clean up the Pantera if he's not dead yet. He ends up getting cleaned up, and now we're just coming after the Tiger, man. And like, you guys don't really have to see this, man. We're just kind of flanking here, and like, this is the end of the game, man. And then we're going to go after the IS-2s, or IS-2 and IS-3, so I hit the one guy, then we come up and over here around. This is how you pad your damage, by the way, guys. Like, you really just, at the very end, man, you always want to make sure that you're rushing into the enemies and just take the shots, man. Like, if they kill you, they kill you, but if they don't target you, then you can pad your damage. And that's how I did that in this game. Like, I want to say at least a third of our damage, right, came from at the end of this game, just by maybe half the damage. I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know how many shots. I wasn't really paying attention to my damage, but you could get so much damage at the end of the game. This is how you need to pad your combined score. So that's how I would suggest you do it when there's stomps like this. Just rush in, man. And if they target you, they target you, man. You know, but then they're not targeting the rest of your team. The rest of your team pushes in. I'm talking when it's like 15-2, right? Don't do this when it's like 15-10. But I'm saying when it's a complete stomp, rush in and get the damage, right? So we ended up with 3166 damage and 2302 spotting, visible, 2 kills. And this is a good game, man, but I figured I would show you guys kind of some alternatives to advancing on this map, right? If you got 2 heavy tanks covering this flank, right? Just push like through this way, man. You can use this building. Going east to west, again, it's not quite the same because it's harder to kind of get the right angle behind this building here because you don't really have the equivalent bush, right, that you do right here. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, though, you can push through here on both sides and just run up in this area, man. And then you can get into like the water here. And same thing from this side, guys, right? You just have to be mindful of this hill. Like this, the way these 2 hills work, I find that it's a lot more risky to push through here like this, going east to west, because this hill is kind of angled in a different way, and I feel like a lot of tank destroyers can poke up and get shots. Whereas with this one, if you push in like this, these guys have to really come up and over the ridgeline to hit you, and you can dive into like this pocket right here. So as much as Wargaming always wants to make the maps like exactly the same on both sides, they're never mirrored perfectly, right? There's always these little things that are easier to do on one side than the other, and harder to do on one side or the other, like vice versa, all that. So you kind of just have to figure that out, and that's what I've figured out on Outpost. So you can give that a shot. And yeah, I mean, if you guys have other plays that work, go for them. But this is what I started doing, and it seems to work pretty well. Let's get into the templates, guys. So this was a mastery, 3166, 2302. We only had, what was it, 2 kills. I mean, I guess this could be a mastery, right? It seems like this would be more like a first class, but maybe it's not that difficult to get a mastery in the LHMTV. I'd like to say that like 1200 experience in something like the LT432 would probably be a first class. You know, so it's dependent on the tank. They're not all the same, but we ended up getting the mastery here, and we are up top, it looks like, by damage, and I would assume by spotting damage as well, by experience, and even by kills. You know, we're tying a lot of people with 2 kills here. And there you go, guys. I mean, we absolutely stomped this team. It's not a perfect or a great example at all of a close game, but I hope it helps you out on Outpost. Here's the detail report. That's it. I will let you guys go. 17 shots fired, 14 hits, 14 pens. Can you believe that? That's awesome. This gun, man, with the LHM TV is somewhat trollish, right? I've had more trollish guns, but I swear, like, I'll be like aiming, shoot, and it just, you know, when the shell misses, it's not that big of a deal, except when you have 1400 DPM and then you have to wait like almost 10 seconds before the gun loads again. Like with the LT432, if I miss, it's like, oh, all right, I'll just hit him again here. Like you only have to wait like 4 seconds, right? But you're waiting 10 seconds pretty much on this gun to load, and the DPM is just really bad on this thing. So when you miss, it's way more frustrating, right? That's all, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a thing or two. Catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.